One Piece is one of the greatest stories ever told, but even Oda isn't perfect. Today we're calling out the single worst moment from every major arc according to me. Might be different for you. Let's get into it. Arlong Park is mostly fantastic, but remember when Luffy got his head stuck in the ground underwater and just stayed there? The arc had this intense build-up with Lami's backstory, then our main character is literally stuck like an idiot. Watching Luffy nearly drown because he couldn't pull his neck out of rocks felt so dumb. It killed the momentum right when things should have been ramping up. Moving on to Alabasta, and this one's infamous. Pell grabbed a bomb that could destroy an entire kingdom, flew it into the sky, and we saw this massive explosion. It was beautiful, tragic, and emotionally perfect. Then he just shows up later with some bandages. How did he survive an explosion visible from miles away? This should have been One Piece's first major sacrifice, but Oda backed out and completely ruined the emotional weight. Now let's talk about Skypiea. The worst issue here was how slow the pacing got, especially in the middle sections. The arc has amazing world building and the payoff is incredible, but getting through the forest survival and extended fights felt like it dragged forever. In the anime, it was even worse with padding, which should have been a tighter adventure arc felt stretched thin, making viewers lose momentum. Alright, moving on to Water 7, and this one hits different. The most painful moment was watching Luffy versus Usopp fight. Not because it was bad, it was necessary, but watching these two best friends generally trying to hurt each other was brutal. Usopp crying while fighting, Luffy holding back tears, the raw emotion of it all was heartbreaking. The fight felt real and ugly, which was the point, but man, it hurt watching their friendship shatter. Next up is Enies Lobby. The arc is near perfect, but Spandam surviving Robin's clutch was ridiculous. She literally broke his spine with her devil fruit and this weak coward just walks it off eventually. By the way, if you're vibing with this, hit that hype button to support the channel. Anyway, back to it. We've seen Robin's clutch end fights immediately, but somehow Spandam survived having his back broken? Speaking of uncomfortable moments, let's talk about Thriller Bark. The worst moment is easily Absalom in the shower with Nami while invisible. This scene was just uncomfortable and weird. It's played for comedy, but it's literally assault. One Piece has fan service, sure, but this crossed the line. It didn't need to be in the arc at all and just made everyone uncomfortable. Not funny, just creepy. Now we get the Sabaody, and honestly, this one hurt. The worst moment was watching the crew get completely destroyed by Kizaru, Kuma, and the pacifistas. They were absolutely helpless. Nothing they did mattered. Watching Luffy scream as his crew disappeared one by one, unable to protect anyone, was brutal. Kizaru toying with them, the pacifistas being unstoppable, and Kuma sending everyone away, total nightmare. The crew we'd followed for years just got erased. But that's nothing compared to Marineford. The worst moment was Ace dying right after being rescued. Not because it's bad writing, it's brilliant. Ace got baited by Akainu's trash talk about Whitebeard and turned around getting himself killed after everyone sacrificed so much. Watching Luffy's complete breakdown after coming so close was the worst emotional gut punch in the series. Okay, moving into post-time skip with Fishman Island. The worst moment is when Luffy destroyed Hody Jones underwater in one hit. This was our first post-time skip villain and Luffy just demolished him. Zero tension. We waited 2 years for the crew's return and the main villain posed no threat. It made the entire arc feel pointless combat-wise. Hody should have at least pushed Luffy a bit. Next up is Punk Hazard, and this moment felt rushed. The worst part was how Monet died with no emotional closure. After all the buildup about her loyalty to Doflamingo, she just got stabbed in the heart by Caesar accidentally. No final words, no goodbye to Doflamingo who she loved, just a quick stab and she's gone. She deserved better after everything. It felt empty and rushed. Now let's talk about Dressrosa's most painful moment, Corazon's death in the flashback. Watching him sacrifice everything to save Law, using his devil fruit to silence Law's voice so he wouldn't be discovered in the treasure chest, was heartbreaking. Law thought he'd escaped together only to find Corazon's frozen smiling body later. Corazon died alone in the snow, making sure Law survived. Beautifully tragic, but emotionally devastating. Moving on to Zoe, and we've got another fake out here. Jack got hit by Zonisha's trunk, an attack that destroyed his entire fleet and sent him to the ocean floor. We saw the devastation, but then he's just fine later, walking around underwater. Speaking of insane power, I covered characters who can beat Gear 5 Luffy. Info card's up if you want to check that out. But yeah, Jack's survival was ridiculous. That trunk swing would have killed anyone else instantly. It made Zonisha's attack feel less impressive and was just another fake out consequence. Alright, Whole Cake Island time. Pound sacrifice protecting Chiffon was genuinely touching. We saw Oven about to kill him, it cut away, and we assumed he died. Beautiful character conclusion, right? Wrong. Cover story showed he survived. Another fake out death that ruined an emotional moment. Now we need to talk about Wano's most painful moment, Oden's execution after getting betrayed by Kaido and Orochi. Oden held his retainers in boiling oil for an hour, survived the impossible, and was about to save everyone, then Kaido just shot him. The betrayal of the 1 hour promise, Orochi's cowardice. Watching Oden die after enduring so much was crushing. His final smile didn't make it hurtless, absolutely devastating. Finally, let's talk about Egghead. The worst moment is how most of the Straw Hats got completely sidelined. Jinbei, Robin, Brook, Nami, Characters we waited years to see just stood around doing nothing meaningful. Kizaru had to kill his own friend Vegapunk, which was emotional, but our main crew felt like background characters. After a while, we wanted them to shine, but they got benched in their own arc. What moment bothered you most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to know. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to FortuNeko and click that bell icon. The next video is right there on your screen. Perfect follow-up to this one. Catch you in the next one.